Happy Friday, Frank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel. Tennessee versus Kentucky, round two tomorrow, 4 o'clock, CBS. It is senior day. It's going to be probably an emotional one tomorrow. Senior day for Santiago Vescovi, Josiah Jordan James, and last but definitely not least, Dalton Connect tomorrow. It's going to be a big day in Thompson Bowling Arena. You got to think the place is sold out. It sells out pretty much every time they play Kentucky. It sells out almost every game anymore. But Tennessee comes back tomorrow with the luxury of knowing they are the 2024 SEC regular season champions, baby. They come into this last four, this gauntlet against Auburn, against Alabama, against South Carolina, Kentucky, four of your top six teams in the country. Florida's the other. Of course, Tennessee is the best as of right now, according to the season standings. But, what's left to play for tomorrow? Is it just a game they could kind of bench your seniors and not worry about? No, not at all, man. Not at all. Number one, you want to send these seniors out the right way, get a victory over Kentucky, last game of their career in Thompson Bowling Arena. But also, you're still playing for that number one seed. You are still playing for that number one seed right now. Don't think it's clear that they're the number one. I don't see how they're not right now, but you get a slip up or two the rest of the way, Arizona takes care of business. Arizona's going to move over them. Now, I'll be honest. I don't know what the difference is going to be. I mean, Tennessee's not had a number one seed in program history. They've had numerous number two seeds. That would be cool to say they've had that one seed. But in the grand scheme of things, if it comes down between Tennessee, Arizona, you got to think they're going to be the 1 and 2 in the same bracket anyway. So, does it really matter? I don't know, because you get into that you're playing a 15 opposed to a 16 if you're the 2 seed. You're a 7 or 10. Odds are you're playing the greatest odds you're playing the 3 seed. If you get past that, you may play a 6 or if you get a Cinderella 11 or 14 in there. And then, when you get to, or if you get to Elite 8, odds are the best odds you're playing the 1 seed. If you're on the 2 side, if you're the 1, you're playing the 8 or 9. You're then playing either the 4, 5, 12, or 13 at that point. I don't know that there's a big difference between 1 or 2. I'm think other than just, hey, it'd be cool to say we're the 1 seed on it. But if you're Tennessee, I think you definitely want to close this gauntlet out tomorrow. Leave no doubt. Leave no doubt. And what is probably the best that I've seen the Southeastern Conference in basketball in a long, long time. Long, long time. Very strong conference this year, just throughout. And you close that out strong tomorrow, and then you go into Nashville next week. From what I've seen, I think they will play. I said it wrong last week. I obviously don't know how to tell time now, but it says 12 o'clock Central Time on Friday, the 1 seed. Well, that'll be 1 o'clock Eastern Time. I, for some reason, said 11. I was thinking 12 o'clock Eastern, 11 o'clock Central, but they would play, from what I've seen, at 1 p.m. Eastern Time next Friday. So we'll see how that is. And I still think they have to win. I've said it. I said, I don't care if they win games, but if you're going to get that 1 seed, I think you're probably going to have to go in and take care of a little bit of business in Nashville next week. If not, at this point, I would like to see them pull off win the conference regular season, win the conference tournament, and then win the national championship. Now, what's the odds down the stretch? We got to face the facts here. Rick Barnes he says it was Monday night. Goals national championship. It's there. Fan base is about it. What happens for, the percentage of it happening? Probably not great, to be honest with you. You get into a 68 team field. Are they going to have good odds when they go in? Yes. What's the odds they come up short? Let's face it, there's a good chance of it. I hope at the end of this season, when it's all said and done, and yeah, we'll be disappointed when I come on. I hope if it's not that last live show that's national championship, there's going to be some disappointment, but I hope we'll all be rational enough to remember, man, it's been a fun season. These, especially seniors going out tomorrow, have given it all. They're all. Yeah, I'm riding with them till the end. I'm believing right now, but I'm also I know we have to brace for that potential, and I hope we don't all just have an irrational thought of, well, Barnes can't get it done, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we'll visit that when we get there, obviously. I mean, if they go in as a 1 seed and get beat by 16, there's probably going to be some pretty unhappy people. But, anyhow, there's still a lot to play for. That 1 seed getting rolling into next week and then rolling into March Madness, where, I loved it the other night. Barnes said, this is great. I don't remember quote for quote, but this isn't Monday. That's the goal there. So let's go back and kind of revisit the first meeting between the two teams as Tennessee won that first matchup. Of course, my computer's being a little slow. I already had it pulled 103-92. So in that game, you had Ziegler and James both went for 26. Connect went for 16. It was an ineffective 16, but it still got the job done. Kentucky focused on him, and other guys stepped up. Vescovy had 11. Adu had 11. Gainey had 5. Meshack 4. Awaka 4. And you had a little bit of action out of Cam Carr, who come in and had a productive, I remember, 3 minutes. Estrella had a couple minutes as well in that game. But you looked at Tennessee shooting for the game. They come out on fire. They hit their first couple shots. James, Ziegler got off to the big start, not necessarily in that order, but they shot 40% from three-point for the game, 73% free throw, 48.6 field goals. They won the rebounding battle in that game, 44-38. Now, if you look at Kentucky's stats, on the other hand, Dillingham went for 35 in that game. Antonio Reeves, 21. Reed Shepherd, 16. They pretty much held the rest in check on that. But Kentucky, if you looked at their stats, man, they shot 44% from three-point range in that game, 49% field goals, 63% free throws. That hurt them, but that was just a game. I never thought Tennessee was in danger once the game started. And you would think if you just looked at Kentucky's stat line that, because 38 rebounds is around their average, well, that's pretty good. I mean, for the most part, but Tennessee, did their thing. Kentucky for the year averages 89.7. According to Ken Palm, that's around 10th adjusted offense. Their three-point percentage, they were above it. They're 40.8 on the season. The rebounds per game, I talked about that. They averaged 37.5. So they were they were about right on average. So if you would have looked at that, you would have thought, man, Kentucky rolled, not looked at Tennessee stats. But Tennessee was on that night. And, a great offensive performance. Obviously, their best of the year. Putting up that number in Rupp Arena was pretty awesome. So what's going to be on the docket for tomorrow? Well, you look at that game tomorrow, comparing those teams, the big Kentucky scores more, Tennessee plays better defense. Which one won out in the first game? We saw that. Which one's going to win out tomorrow? I'm going to let you know here in a couple of bullet points on that. But right now, Ken Palm still has Tennessee at 5th. They've not really moved. They've had Alabama ahead of Tennessee. They've had Auburn ahead of them. Now they put Arizona ahead of Tennessee. So they kept Houston, Connecticut, Purdue consistently 1 through 3 on it. So Ken Palm favors Arizona over Tennessee. Ken Palm still has Auburn right behind Tennessee. They're a fan of them. But Tennessee's adjusted offense is 20th and their adjusted defense is 3rd. So this is a pretty good offensive team of Tennessee this year. Not known for that a lot of times. So, we'll see how it goes down the stretch. I know Lenardi made Tennessee a 1 seed in his bracketology. And, you can love or hate Lenardi. He still does a pretty good job. He's pretty accurate a lot of times on that. And, another big thing for Tennessee tomorrow, it is a big weekend for them visit-wise. They have some prospects on campus tomorrow. Let me kind of I'm going to pull that up while I'm looking here. But they have Bishop Boswell, their lone commitment for this year on campus. Let's see. Let me find the article here just a minute while I'm pulling that up. But just kind of looking ahead tomorrow, I'm going to go Tennessee 93, Kentucky 85. Tennessee takes care of business in this one. They send these guys out the right way. I fully expect that's going to happen tomorrow. Tennessee is still on that. They're on that right track to the number 1 seed as well. And then, we haven't talked a lot of recruiting on here. There hasn't been a lot of news on here for recruiting, to be honest with you, because they signed the one prospect in Bishop Boswell, who's their lone signee for this period. Now, I don't know if they evaluate any other guys, if there's any kind of late bloomers. As they found those guys, Zakai Ziegler, Tobey Awaka, for example, DJ Jefferson, who's one that was a late signee, the later signing period. Of course, he's not a factor. I've speculated on what may have there. But for tomorrow, Tennessee's visitors that they have coming in, Bishop Boswell, 4-star signee out of Charlotte. They have 2025 4-star Tylish Jordan out of Snellville, Georgia. According to 24/7, he is ranked as the number 68 player, 6'9", 195. They also have 2025 Chance Mallory out of Charlottesville, Virginia, ranked the number 89 for the class 2025. And then they have 2026 5-star Caleb Holt out of Huntsville, Alabama, the number 3 overall player in the nation. So he is a junior right now. And then 26 4-star I'm assuming it's Gabriel Solarski out of Illinois. He is ranked the number 61 overall player, number 17 shooting guard, number 1 player in the state of Illinois. So it's a big weekend for visitors. And, it's something we've not heard a lot with this year. And I think where Tennessee goes in the offseason, you're losing James Vescovy, you're losing Dalton Connect. I think the odds are you have to factor in a transfer, if not more, at least a transfer, if not more. So you're going to factor that in. So I'm curious to see they bring 2 or 3 portal guys in. Possibly, I think they would want to bring in instant impact guys as well. Seeing what Dalton Connect has done this year, Jordan Gainey, of course, he's been up and down, but he has made a good contribution to the team. I would think this could be a destination, especially if it's one of these players. They go to the portal. They've gone to the NBA draft to test the waters. They get the feedback. They need to come back and work on defense, kind of like Connect did this year. What better team than Rick Barnes in Tennessee to come in, work on that defense, add that offense, as Rick proved this year. You can come in and be a big-time offensive player in this offense. This offense has been more fluid than it's been probably during any time we've seen, except for maybe the junior year of Admiral Schofield and Grant Williams. Junior for Williams, senior for Schofield, along those lines. That was probably the most fluid, but I really feel like this has been a more smooth offense this year, the way things gone. It seems like they have every position covered on it. But no post game tomorrow. I'll be out. If you're in the Greenville area, which it's going to be a little hectic, they have the SEC women's basketball tournament this weekend. But if you're in the area, Yeehaw Brewing, there is a Tennessee alumni watch party tomorrow. You don't have to be an alumni. You can come. I'm not an alumni, but you can come down to that. That'll be a lot of fun. I hope to see you down there. So if not, I will try. I'll at least have a next day, Sunday, to load on that. We'll see, depending on when I get back, possibly just a post-game recap as far as a video tomorrow night. Later tonight, I'll drop a Game 1 recap of the Tennessee-Illinois series. I'll be trying to recap those all weekend as well. But, we're getting into it next week. I'll drop some videos kind of leading up to basketball. Spring practice is around the corner for football, so I've got to hit that at some point. But basketball is the main focus. That's what's rolling right now. We're going to keep rolling. You guys have supported. It's been awesome. But as always, happy Friday. Frank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel. Like, share, subscribe. And as always, go Vols.